headphones on.
All right. There we go. We are streaming live, Maureen.
Yay.
Hello, everybody.
We should at least have Kim Laurie on soon. And Noelle.
Okay. Well, we are streaming live. Maureen and I are here. We'd like to welcome anyone and everyone who happens to be watching us. My name is Walter Crawford. For those of you who don't know me, I am one of the two founders of Homeschool Connections. And adjacent to me, right over there, is Maureen. Am I? Okay.
There you go.
I'm not sure which. Look good on my end, but all right. Is Maureen Whitman, the other founder of Homeschool Connections, and we're so glad to have all of you joining us. Today is kind of a pseudo-experimental opportunity for us. We have not used synchronous video for any of the social media platforms that are out there, and so this is an opportunity for us to somewhat experiment with this, although we did have a trial run on Friday, which went fairly successful. But now we're doing this live in front of a lot of people. At least we hope we are. But what we wanted to do is take an opportunity to field any questions that you may have related to the spring 2018 registration early enrollment deadline that ends tomorrow night at midnight Pacific time. So that'd be almost 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. To take your questions about it, but also to answer maybe any other questions you may have about Homeschool Connections or in homeschooling in general. We know that there's a lot of folks that at this point in the year, they're looking for solutions, perhaps because of things that in their current program, their current arrangement, are not kind of playing out the way they would expect them to. And so we would like to take your questions as well. So it's not just limited to the registration deadline, the early enrollment registration deadline that's happening again tomorrow night at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or midnight Pacific Time, but also to answer any other questions that you may have around homeschooling or even Homeschool Connections. So we're happy to take those questions as they come. I am going to periodically be looking at the Facebook feed just to see what questions may be happening that way as well. So forgive me if you see me looking away from the camera.
Well, and we should note that early enrollment ends on Wednesday, not tomorrow, but Wednesday, the 15th. Today's the 13th, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get my dates wrong?
Yep, surprises go up on the 16th.
Goodness gracious. You're right, Maureen.
We got 2 days.
Yeah, you got 2 days. You got more than enough time now. But yeah, it's going to end.
You can register after the 15th as well. It's just cheaper to do it early.
Yeah. So it's going to be the 15th on this month. And it always is the 15th. We have it November 15th for the spring, and we have it for July 15th for the fall.
And March 15th for summer.
And March 15th for the summer.
And we're putting together our summer courses right now. We're putting together all the courses, in fact, for the 2018-2019 school year at this very moment. So you'll be seeing those posted soon.
And feel free to ask questions with that too.
A big question we get this time of year, Walter, right, is if I sign up with Homeschool Connections mid-year, can I do that? Can I jump into a Spanish class? Can I jump into a science class? So if you're not sure, always email, ask us, give us a call. We have a toll-free number. and look at the catalog. Read the prerequisites. A number of courses will say, there's no prerequisite. You can jump in mid-year. Now, of course, a science, a math, a language course, you do need to make sure you have a semester worth of work so you're not behind. So in those cases, I would just email us. We can connect you with the teacher. And sometimes those courses are full. For example, both Spanish courses are full. So unless someone drops, you may not be able to join mid-year anyway. So that's a big question we get this week, leading up to the end of early enrollment for spring.
Yeah, and we're also, kind of Maureen's point, we're here to maybe take those questions because they are usually very unique circumstances that surround those specific students or parents, what have you. And so we will take those questions and get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Right now, our 800 number, it only goes into voicemail, and that's by design because we don't have a large staff. But we do listen to those voicemails as they come in. So don't feel like your voicemail won't be answered or won't be heard. We usually are very good about listening to them and then responding to them as soon as we possibly can. It may take us a little time to find some additional information to find out or to be able to answer the question, depending on the way the question's asked. But usually we'll get back to you the day of or within 24 hours for sure.
Yeah, if you call us at midnight, we're in bed. So we'll answer you the next day.
That's true. That's
if you call at 9 a.m, you'll probably hear from us within an hour or two. Yeah.
That's right.
So always leave a message.
And while we're waiting for questions to come in, I think the other thing I'd like to just mention, and it's we have a lot of people that will subscribe and unsubscribe to our unlimited access program. And I would just offer you a point of view around the subscription service that it can be used in a whole different way, a whole lot of ways. When you think about the actual courses themselves, they can certainly be used as a self-paced vehicle for your students. That's usually how most people treat the courses. However, in addition to that, I would stipulate that you could use them as a supplement to reinforce content that your students may be weak on. Say, for instance, there's a literature course like Dracula, for example, a course that we just finished and will be available as a recording soon. But a course like that, as an example, where your student may not have a familiarity with the subject matter, or maybe better yet, they're studying it maybe in public school or Catholic school, what have you, and they would like to hear another point of view. It's a great way to augment the learning process at an additional point of view that your student may not be getting in their particular program or setting. Additionally, I would also encourage moms and dads to use it as another teaching vehicle, meaning if I'm a parent and I'm preparing a lesson plan or preparing to teach a particular subject, maybe it's algebra or something like that, and you would like to get another point of view on how to teach that particular polynomial subject or whatever the case may be as it relates to math, you can get into that, get into our classes, look at them and evaluate them and see how that teacher taught the course or that subject, and then you can apply that to your own efforts to teach. So that's not a commonly used way of taking it, but I think it's an absolutely invaluable way to use our unlimited access program.
So it's probably a good time to point out, to kind of explain this for people who are new to Homeschool Connections. There are two types of courses that you can take: live interactive courses, and those are the ones that are individually priced, and those are the ones we're talking about when we talk about the early enrollment discount. It's cheaper to sign up early. But the recorded courses, same price all the time. It's very inexpensive. It's very family friendly. It's $1 to try it out for 7 days. Make sure it's a good fit for you and your family. After that, it's just $30 a month. And that gives you exactly what the name implies: unlimited access to all of our recorded courses. So the difference between the live and the recorded is that the live, you're in a classroom, a virtual classroom on the computer, in real time with the teacher and with your fellow students, and communicating with them live, either through a headset like this or by typing in chat. The recorded courses are completely self-directed, so that's why they're more inexpensive. With the live courses, the teacher is available to you in between classes to answer questions, help you with homework, to grade homework, and all of that. We're going to be more independent learning with the recorded courses.
Yeah.
So, Walter, do we have any questions coming in?
None have come in as of yet.
Okay.
So again,
There's some other big questions we get, especially this time of year.
We get questions about compatibility, and looking forward to the 2018 semester. People are beginning to probe a little bit further about kind of the compatibility of our platform with their current computers and whatnot. And we use Adobe Connect, which is a very popular online platform used to deliver synchronous content, meaning done at the same time, to our students. One thing that I think will differentiate us, say, from a lot of other online class or course providers is perhaps the strength of our teachers. We really look to recruit some of the best instructors, the experts in their field. Some of them have been teaching in other programs before, maybe like the public school system, what have you, but
college professors. Yeah, we have a good number of college professors.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you also have teachers who have authored books on their subject matter. So they are very skilled, and their expertise is par excellence, right? It's very, very high. Yeah. And they are the kind of people that our intention is to put before your students the kind of people that you feel comfortable having them teach your students, that they're going to teach within the guardrails, let's say, of the Catholic Church, as well as a lot of times they'll start off with a prayer, which should also make many parents feel at ease. So those are some of the things that differentiate us. But I'd say that going back to the technology issue, we get questions around that. And what I would just offer is the platform is generally compatible with both Macs and PCs. The other platform that we use for kind of delivering the content to the students, meaning assignments and things of that sort, is also it's a general web application. I should say it's available on the web. It's Moodle. It's a very common open source platform that students should have complete access to, no matter what computer they use. A lot of times students will have questions about which headset to buy and things of that sort. You can see that Maureen and I are using two different headsets. Mine's a Logitech, and those are very good and usually have they're well received with the platform that we use, the Adobe Connect platform. And I would say that by and large, most headsets are like that. Mine has a USB connection. I won't show it to you because if I did, I would disconnect my audio. But also sometimes I have a male-female adapter to it, and those are also fine. Which is what I have. I have a very cheap version, Walmart version. Yeah, and so those things. It works fine. Yeah, exactly. So it's not an expensive endeavor to try and participate in the classes. So I would just say that if you're concerned about the technology that's used, don't. Most of the time, it's very compatible. We try to use a platform that's broadly accessible, no matter what operating system or whether it be a Mac or a PC that you're using. Yep. So thank you for that question, Noel. There were some other questions. Yeah. Pardon? Oh, I was going to say if there's any questions out there that might be. Let's take a look here. There was one from Noel on what you just said. What kind of technology do we need? What platforms work best? What operating systems work best?
Someone commented that their children actually use the recorded classes on their iPhones. I have a friend whose son does. He takes a live class on his not his iPhone, but on his Android, which I can't even begin to imagine. My eyes are too old. But we'll actually do class on an iPhone, so it can work on a tablet, computer, phone, any mobile device.
Yeah,
It'll work.
yeah, and I would say also a question came up in addition to that. How many courses do we offer? Great question. This school year, we're offering, what is it, over 100? How many?
150 live courses.
150 live courses, and for the recorded courses, there's over 275. So we have over 275 recorded courses, which again can be used to augment or supplement or fill in those gaps that sometimes your curriculum may leave behind. And the same goes with the live experience. Another question we get about our live courses is, do you actually, do the students get their assignments graded? And is there an additional cost for that? For the live courses, yeah, it's absolutely included. We have a one fee and one fee only for the course, maybe apart from materials that may be involved with purchasing, but there's no additional like registration fee. I mean, the registration fee is what it is. It's that and that only. That it's not. There's nothing else that you need, application fees or anything like that you need to fill out or purchase. It's just one fee to actually to join the class, and for the recorded classes, you can also get your assignments graded as part of what we like to call instructor access. So that's an additional service that's offered by, I'd say most of the classes now offer some form or fashion of it. And if it doesn't, there's an answer key, or the quizzes are automatically graded or something to that effect.
Right.
But yeah, so as a parent, if you're looking for that additional layer of support and you would like to have the teacher grade the assignment, even though you're taking a course that doesn't cost you hardly anything, if you're thinking about $30 per month, you still have access for the optional and additional fee to hire the instructor to grade the assignments. You still have it available to you. And it's something that we kind of integrated into the courses, because after all the questions we were getting, it felt like the right thing to do for the parents who needed that additional level of support.
And we don't have it for all courses, but you don't need it for all courses. You need it for courses like writing. Courses that are a little harder to grade on your own or are difficult to provide answer keys for. So, an advanced Latin course, you're typically going to want help grading or writing, where you're writing an original composition, things like that. But we also offer it for math, some history, some literature. Courses where parents have really requested and expressed a need for help in grading.
Yeah, so I know we only intended on having this a live stream for a few minutes, and just to see if there was any questions that may come up that we can help respond to, given the fact that the deadline for early enrollment for the spring semester is looming. Again, just to repeat that, the deadline is November 15th. I don't know why I thought it was tomorrow, but I got my dates crossed. But it'll be November 15th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, which will make it almost 3 a.m. Eastern time. So the prices will go up on November 16th. So if you're trying to squeeze it in, go ahead and do so between now and then, of course. But you don't need to. It doesn't need to be done tonight. It doesn't even need to be done tomorrow night, but it needs to be done before the 16th. It's worth pointing out that just because the early enrollment deadline ends doesn't mean that registration ends. That'll actually take you to the beginning of the course, practically speaking. Well, within the
1 week before.
Yeah, 1 week begin of the class.
Registration closes.
Yeah, so we'll close the class from registration. Two things will actually close the class. Number one, it's full, or two, it's 1 week before the class starts.
And some courses will fill up and close before the first day. Typically, that happens a lot with the fall courses. People tend to wait a little bit longer to register for spring. But you still do run into the issue of a class could fill up and close if you don't register early. I usually recommend registering a month earlier than the early enrollment deadline to make sure you get into a course before it fills up. So I think, any more questions? Should we sign off?
Yeah, I haven't seen any more questions. I was looking at the thread. I didn't see anything come up. So at this point, I will bid you adieu. We will be doing more of these, just so everyone knows, and it'll be scheduled so that you'll have an opportunity to hold the date or save the date. But we're glad that if you're catching this live, or maybe you're catching this as a recording, we hope it answered some of your questions concerning Homeschool Connections. And if you have anything else, let us know. Send us an email at homeschoolconnections@gmail.com, homeschoolconnections@gmail.com, or call us. Our 800 number is 888-372-4757, and we'll take those questions there as well.
And comments on Facebook as well.
Yep. Comments on Facebook as well are always.
We have a parent group, which is really nice. You could join the parent group on Facebook, where you can work with other parents, ask questions. Everyone shares their best practices, ideas for using the service, as well as the fan page.
Yeah, and we will absolutely get back to you guys, and we like to think of ourselves as very responsive. Hopefully, those of you watching feel the same. But if you have areas of improvement, again, just drop us an email or call us at the 800 number, and we'll happy to get back to you with those with any changes we can do to or responses we can provide concerning your questions. Oh, looks like we have a question. Did that just come in, Maureen?
It just came in. It just did. Yep.
Okay,
so Kim Laree is asking about dual enrollment and how do we decide what courses a teen needs to take. So, that's what we specialize in, right? Middle school, high school. High school is the time when everyone gets a little nervous about homeschooling, needs a little help. So it's a big question we get a lot. How do I know what courses my high school student needs to take? And that's going to vary from child to child. So we have some helps on the website. Go to homeschoolconnections.com, click on free resources, and then click on scope and sequence. And there you'll find a form. It has a name along the lines of, how do I create a scope and sequence for my high school student? And it's a questionnaire. Sit down with your high school student and go through this questionnaire with your student. What courses have they taken so far? What do they need for graduation? Are they going to go to college? Are they going to go to trade school? And it helps you determine what courses you should be taking. And not only with Homeschool Connections, but a curriculum as a whole. Some people use this as a supplement. Some people use this as a full curriculum. And so that form will help you with that as well. Kim Laree's other question was dual enrollment. We are working with Franciscan University on dual enrollment. So again, if you go to the website, homeschoolconnections.com, click on dual enrollment, and you'll be able to click to that page at Franciscan University. So it's a 10% discount if you're a Homeschool Connections family, but it's open to anyone. Anyone can take dual enrollment through Franciscan University. You don't have to be signed up with Homeschool Connections, but you do get a very nice discount. And it's a great program. You're working with Franciscan professors. You're taking classes along with other homeschoolers, but also there will be some Franciscan students in the classroom with you. So earning college credit at a discount, much, I think it's a third of the price if you were on campus, plus you don't have room and board. So if you did the full program, the full extent, you took 2 courses a semester, 3 semesters a year, you would go to college as a mid-year sophomore. So you could get a year and a half out and save up to $50,000 in tuition. So it's a great deal. It's definitely something to look into if you have a high school student. My own daughter is taking it. So she's taking French this semester, theology next semester. And we're looking at the summer courses. They just came out a couple of days ago. So we'll be looking at that as well. So thank you, Kim Laree.
Yeah, great question. And apparently Kim Marie had asked her
Yeah.
question a few minutes ago, so we just got it. Not sure why that is, but we're glad that was asked. Yeah, so I assume there's no other questions that have asked, but I'm hesitant given the fact that we're seeing a delay in those. But again, we'll be doing these more periodically. So if you can't get your question in now, or we're not able to get to it during the live session, again, reach out to us at the email address homeschoolconnections@gmail.com or the 800 number. That's 888-372-4757. Or on Facebook, you can leave a message there, and we'll get back to you. But we will be doing more of these. We like the software. We think it's an effective way for you to get to know us a little bit better, and kind of think of it as a mini conference because you're running by our table and asking us a few questions. So we're kind of the way I see this is that you're just kind of running up against the table and asking us a few questions, and we're here to answer those questions as much as we possibly can. But all right, I guess, Maureen, do you have any final thoughts before we call it a show?
Just God bless you all, and may you have a great school year.
Yeah.
We're praying for you. We pray for our students every day.
And for the other students too.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. We love you guys, and thank you very much for all the time that. Well, thank you for all the support that you give us. And if there's anything else that we can do for you, just let us know.
Thank you, Walter.
Thank you. Have a great one.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.